Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. I'm Gargi Raut, and joining me for this conversation is Snehashish Mukherjee and Bharat Ramraj. India main squad was announced yesterday, and there are a lot of names that have not made the cut. Mohammed Shami, Ajinkya Rahane, Jiteshwar Pujara, Sarfaraz Khan, and one, of course, is Shreyas Iyer. Now, a lot of people are asking why the young batter missed out on the tour. Now, we don't exactly have the answers here, but what we can do is discuss whether or not it was fair considering Shreyas Iyer's recent performances. Bharat, I'll go over to you first. Did you see when we were discussing, the India squad, we were putting out our probable 15s, probable 16s. Did you ever have a place for Shreyas Iyer in the team?
Not really. I told my team to you 3 4 days ago in one of the shows, barring a couple of players. One player I think Iswaran I didn't have. The rest of them they went and picked the selectors, but I didn't have him. The reason, see, I'm not nothing against Sai Sudharsan. I've said good things about him by saying that he's the best captain going around in the IPL. I understand he's a very good player of spin, but somewhere, just to balance it out, perhaps the selectors are not sure about the games of Shreyas Iyer and Safraz Khan outside Asia. I know with Safraz Khan there are other speculations going around as to why he wasn't selected. But I think one of the reasons is the selectors are not very sure about the games of Shreyas Iyer and Safraz Khan versus pace bowling outside Asia. Yes, we can hit at me or counter it by saying that Shreyas Iyer has improved his game versus short pitch bowling, but it isn't just short pitch bowling. If you notice, bowlers have pace bowlers have now started to bowl much fuller to him because he's basically a back foot player in the sense that is more weight on the front foot, so his lighter foot, the back foot will go back first, and then he has to come forward. So the pace bowlers have understood that if not short pitch bowling, we will go much fuller against him, and that is how he got out in a few test matches in South Africa. Somewhere the selectors seem like they're not very convinced. I'm not saying that is right or wrong, that they're not convinced about his game against pace bowling outside of Asia or Safraz Khan for the matter. But that seems to be the case. And I wouldn't have picked him with great respect to him, though if the test matches are played at home, against the West Indies, maybe following South Africa. And mind you, West Indies do have a couple of decent left arm spinners this time, Varikan and Gudakash Moti. So then I might pick someone like Shreyas Iyer in home conditions. But for away from home, I think India had some decent options and they went for them.
Snehashish, do you have any particular reason in mind why you think the selectors have not picked Shreyas Iyer? Or do you think there were just too many batters ahead of him in the pecking order that have made the squad now?
Yes, absolutely. I think what Bharat said, I completely agree to that personally also. Because if you would have asked me, before the team selection, official selection, that do you have Shreyas Iyer in your top 15 or 16, I would have also said that no. For this England tour, I do not have Shreyas Iyer in the red ball format because I know that he has improved a lot. He has been doing superbly. The confidence is on high. But still, I think in the red ball format, outside of Asia, I think he needs to. I think the selectors and I think as fans also, I think a lot of things need to be convinced. I think he need to prove a lot more that he is ready for that challenge. But because what I think that, as you mentioned in the pecking order, I think this unfair or fair all, I think we should discuss on Sarfaraz, because Sarfaraz did well in that home series against New Zealand. He scored that, I think, 150, 160 something. Though India lost that series, it was a whitewash at home. After that, he went for that Australia series in Australia. He didn't give a game there, and now he's dropped completely. He has worked hard, behind the nets, behind the scene. He has worked on his weight, on his fitness, and obviously he's a very good batter. But still, he failed to get a chance. So I think the point that Bharat made, that how they will face top quality pace bowlers in England conditions, I think that remains a question, and that is why I think selectors have not gone for them. And when you see the names that have been selected, it maybe you can say Sai Sudharsan, maybe Karun Nair, all these players have county experience. I think that have played a major role here because these players have played in county, so at least they have that experience, recent experience of playing under those conditions. So I think that have played a major role also. And as Ajit Agarkar also said that Shreyas Iyer has been doing pretty well, but mainly in the white ball. In the red ball format, in Ranji format, he has scored runs. But still, we all know that there are many batters who scored a ton of runs in every Ranji season. But that not means that every batter will get a chance in India instantly. So I also agree to Bharat that if in the upcoming home series against any team for India in Test series, I am saying, in home conditions, I think Shreyas Iyer will get a chance there. If he performs there, then I think he will get another opportunity whenever India will going overseas.
Yeah, we've got some comments coming here. Rupayan Guhan Yogi is saying Shreyas Iyer against short ball in red ball. Although he has the point that Bharat was making, although he has improved leaps and bounds in ODI cricket, he will or might be included in home tests as he plays spin well. It's simple horses for courses for a few players. Bharat, what do you think?
Just one second, I was looking at the group. Some message was there for me. As Strice, although it's improved leaps
Take
and
the
bounds,
comment.
he will might be included in home tests. Yeah, that's the same point I was saying. See, he's improving short pitch bowling. One can see that he was staying leg side of the ball in the past. Now he's going back and across. That is why he's able to pull. But there is one more issue. As I talked about the fuller one, the pace bowlers have understood that it's not just about short pitch bowling. You can go fuller against him and getting clean bowled or LBW. That's what has happened in Siena countries. But I definitely agree that he's a good player of spin, barring that googly. The googly that some occasionally I guess the googly in limited overs cricket, he has been troubled by it. But otherwise, I think he's a good player of spin. So I would definitely have him in the home test at least. As far as Safraz Khan is concerned, see, another point to remember here is both Shreyas Iyer, though he has made improvements in his game in short pitch bowling, and Safraz Khan, especially Safraz Khan, he has a very unorthodox game. So what happens in Test cricket is, unfortunately, the perception kind of builds in the selectors' minds that this player is a very unorthodox game. It's little more difficult, I think, for the selectors to convince the selectors that a very unorthodox batter can succeed against a certain kind of bowling. I'm not saying that's the right perception, but it definitely happens. For example, Safraz Khan, let's take into consideration Safraz Khan here. He will come in and try to play ram shot, get out, caught at gully. He will get a lot more abuses or a lot more criticism than an orthodox-looking Shubman Gill, who might get out caught in the slip cordon or get cleaned up because of his, I think, unorthodox game. And that might also be going against someone like Shreyas Iyer. But definitely, the larger point, I definitely agree, he's a good player of spin, barring the googly, and Indian batters have struggled in the recent past against spin bowling in home conditions, and I would definitely have him against the West Indies because they do have a couple of decent left-arm spinners this time around.
Snehashish Anit Sadhu is saying, remember, Baz was signaling his bowlers to bowl bouncers to him from the stands during the last England tour. Similar thoughts would have come to the selectors. He is vulnerable to bouncers. And
Yes,
I
absolutely. I remember that.
in this IPL as well, there were a couple of wickets lost to bouncers while he was trying to pull the ball.
Yes, and I think that was the time when I think McCallum just joined England team after finishing that IPL stint, I think, with KKR. So I think he already knew what to do against Shreyas Iyer, and I absolutely agree. I am repeating the same point that he has done remarkably well in the white ball format. There is no deny to that, but he has been playing the short balls also very well. But still, I think in the red ball format, under that conditions against England top quality pacers, it will be difficult, and I think that played a huge role for not getting a place in the England squad.
I will just add a point to it. I think it's really unfair to bring up short pitch bowling now in 2025. In 2022, his technique was different. As I noted, he was staying leg side of the ball. So what happened was See, when you stay leg side of the ball, you only have a couple of options. That is to play ram shot or an uppercut over the keeper's head. And that is why the fast bowlers would look at someone staying leg side of the ball and they would start bowling short. So somewhere I think he's changed that. He's worked on his technique. If you notice, he's going more back end across. That is why he's able to play the pull shot. Unfortunately, what happens is, especially if there is a school of thought going around that you have problem in short pitch stuff, then every pace bowler will start bowling short at you. That's what has happened with Shreyas Iyer. But if you notice his stats, it is improved quite significantly against short pitch stuff. He's scoring a lot more boundaries and sixes against short pitch stuff. Even when Prasidh Krishna, someone gets bounced, went short at him, he was able to pull him for a six. And Jofra Archer also he pulled him. So I think he's improved there, but as I noted, he has another issue. He has an issue, I think it's a moving ball. Whenever he's played in South Africa, whenever he's in those 3-4 tests, or even the World Cup final, if you notice, 2023 World Cup final, Pat Cummins didn't bowl shot at him. He went full and got him out. That is another way to get Shreyas Iyer out. So whatever it is, the selectors I don't think are completely convinced about his game against pace outside Asia, rightly or wrongly.
There's a comment here by Fitmonk. He's saying, guys like Ben Duckett and Crawley have issues playing spin, but still, ECB gave them a complete series in India last year, and they have done decent. Quite sad that Sarfaraz is out only because of perception. What is this perception, Snehashish? That he can't play spin?
No, I think he cannot play the short ball at that pace. I think in England condition, I think on about maybe handling the swing also, because we all know that the swing will be there with the new ball especially. So I think that might be the perception that Fit Monk is saying here. But see, I think for England, I think giving chance to Ben Duckett and Collie, I don't see other options also there that who will come and play for England pretty well in especially in subcontinent conditions, and the attacking intent that these two have brought in recent years. I think that have been one of the major factor in England whatever performance they have managed in last 2 3 years. So I think that is why. But see, the main problem in Indian cricket is a good problem to have, that there is a main so many options that you can choose for. So every time I keep talking about this point in every say to everyone that in Indian cricket, whenever a team gets announced, I think 4 5 players will be there who regarding whom we will be talking about that it is unfair that they didn't get a chance. But that is the good point to have for Indian cricket, that there are so many players that you can expect that they should be in the team, but unfortunately some of them will not get a chance, and in this case Sarfaraz is one of them.
Also had a point to it. But when did Ben Duckett have his problem against spin? That is in 2016 against Ashwin. He actually is a better player of spin than pace. He scored 100 on a raging turner in Pakistan. So I don't necessarily agree he has a problem. Zach Ravely has problems against both pace and spin. Matt Henry had him for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in New Zealand. So Zach Ravely has a lot of problems, but they keep picking him ahead of someone like Jacob Bethel. That is their problem. But I don't think Ben Duckett has had a problem against spin since 2016 when Ravi Ashwin was at the peak of his prowess, and Ravi Ashwin has destroyed many careers of many cricketers, young cricketers who have come to India.
Absolutely. There's a question here by Rupayan. He's saying, will Shreyas Iyer make a comeback to another white ball T20 cricket for India? Well, he's back in the BCCI annual contract, so that's proof enough that he will be back in the team soon. Do you all see any vacant position for him in T20s for India? He is dropped from the T20 team too. Again, like I said, annual contract. He's in there. He's in the Grade B list, so you might as well see him make a comeback. But Bharat, to answer the second question, do you see a vacant position for him in T20s? What do you think?
Oh, the T20 squad, as you know, there's huge competition out there. Surya Kumar Yadav also has completely returned to form and is the captain of the side there. Tilak Verma, with all his struggles, despite his struggles, he scored some runs. in South Africa. He scored some runs here or there against England too in T20 cricket. So there is huge competition. But Shreyas Iyer definitely can fit into the T20 squad if there is his vacant spot, because he can play spin reasonably well. Though, yes, again, wrist spinner might trouble him, but he can play spin reasonably well. So he can fit in. But as I noted, that the competition for places in that particular T20 squad is quite huge.
Absolutely. Let's take some more questions before we wrap up the show in the next 5 or so minutes. Vaibhav Tarag is saying, Snehashi sir, even our legends failed many times to counter swing and seam. Chance to do yaar, then reject. But there's just it's a problem of plenty, Snehashish, isn't it? You've got an Abhimanyu Iswaran. You've got Ishan Kishan also in the team, by the way. You've got Dhruv Jurel, Sai Sudarshan, Shubman Gill. Who am I missing? So Yashasvi Jais, you've got so many batters. How do you make a place for everyone? It's
Yes.
impossible.
Yeah, that is what I said in the previous comment also, that even if today, if Shreyas would have got a place in that squad, and if would have dropped a Karuna from there, then we would be doing this live on, is this unfair not to include Karun, not to not getting a place for Karuna in the squad. So that is the case, that so many options are there in Indian cricket, so it will be difficult for everyone to to get a chance. I can understand what you are saying, Bhairav Tarangi, and I also absolutely agree that you have to give chances. You cannot, based on a perception that he cannot do so, I will not will not pick him. You cannot decide a player's future regarding one, but sometimes you have to, and that is where the players need to do more, and he need to make sure that the selectors, when the next opportunity comes for a series, for a squad announcement, the selectors cannot make an excuse like this, that okay, for this reason we are not picking him. You have to score more, you have to prove yourself more, that there will be no way that selectors can avoid you. And I think Shreyas is in the right path. He has been doing fabulously well in the white ball format, and in the red ball, as we all are discussing, that in the Ranji format he has done pretty well. And I am saying again that what I am expecting, that in the upcoming home test series against any of the opposition, I think Shreyas Iyer will get a chance, and if he does well in that series, I think a chance in the overseas series, then it will be given to him.
I'll set a point to it. See, maybe they could have picked him in the India A squad, because see,
Yes.
Sai Sudharsan went and scored 100 against Australia A. That really impressed the selectors, because in that same series, Gaikwad averaged 5 and Iswaran averaged 9, but Sudarshan went and scored 100. That really impressed the selectors. So that in that sense, Shreyas Iyer could have been given a chance against England Lions, because England Lions will have some good pace bowlers like Chris Wokes and Sam Baker in that lineup. So if he scores runs against them, then he could have got back into the equation. But the guy who asked Snehasis the question was saying, give the chance, yeah, as though Snehasis is the selector. We are not the selectors, unfortunately. You have to ask Ajit Agarkar sir for this, why that perception is. But as I noted, one of the reasons for that could be, see, it's little more difficult for an unorthodox player to convince the selectors that he has a test match credentials than an orthodox looking player. It doesn't mean that the orthodox looking player is better, because Shubman Gill also might get out to a nip packer many times, but he still looks a little more orthodox. So that's usually the case in test cricket. Unfortunately, even with Indian cricket, if you go back to the era when Raman Lamba was dropped after a couple of test matches, just because the selectors decided then that he had no real technique, because he was very unorthodox. Only I think Virender Sehwag was the one who with a very unorthodox game, was given a long rope and got all those runs when it comes to Indian cricket.
I'm still on mute. Okay. Shreyas Jain is saying your take on no Kamboj and selecting Arshdeep over him. Are Baba. What do
County
you
county experience
Yeah, and the fact that
and
Arshdeep
left
has been
arm.
the setup for a long time.
Yes.
I think also it is because Arshdeep Singh is a swing bowler,
Yes,
a left
exactly.
arm swing bowler. A left arm swing bowler. If Anshul Kamboj had to be selected, I think his competition was against Mukesh Kumar, Akash Deep. These two were seam bowlers. Anshul
Harshit
Kamboj.
Rana.
Ashit Rana's competition, I think, was with other tall
Kamboj.
guy, Prasid
Yeah.
Krishna, two tall
Prashant.
boys. I think these are the three steady seamers: Mukesh
Hmm.
Kumar, uh, Anshul Kamboj, and
Akashdeep.
Akash Deep. But they went with Akash Deep mainly, I think, because of the pecking order. Because he's already played test matches, so they wanted that kind of continuity. But Anshul Kamboj is a very good seam bowler. One greatest strength about Anshul Kamboj that I noticed is from ball one, he makes the batter play. Let it be in Vijay Hazare Trophy or Ranji Trophy, first ball is making the batter play. And as MS Dhoni himself once noted, that he seems to hit the glove a little bit harder than expected. That means he's hitting the bat quite hard on impact. So I would have taken him, but the competition again is stiff. Somewhere I think they went with Akash Deep because of the pecking order. Arshdeep Singh is a swing bowler. Just want to make sure this guy is a seam bowler.
Rupan is asking about future of Mohammed Shami in Test cricket. Is the legend done? Well, I wouldn't write him off just now. I wouldn't write him off because from what I am getting to the sources that I have spoken to, it is being said that he might be referred to the NCA, and suppose he, whatever the selectors are looking for, suppose they are satisfied, he could be added to the squad later. But again, that there's a very slim chance of that happening. But still, don't rule him out just yet. More questions. Final question. Let's take this one. Don't you guys think Sai Sudharsan is getting overestimated because of this IPL run? Let me tell you, do not look at IPL. IPL was not an index for any of these selections. Let me get that clear. The other thing, then what is he
I'll just
saying?
add a point to it, if it is fine, about Sudarshan thing. I don't think it's just about IPL. Remember that he scored 100 against Australia A in Australia. This was the series where, as I noted, Gaikwad averaged 5 and Iswaran averaged 9. Sudarshan was the one of the few guys who scored runs. And also, if you notice in the Dulip Trophy game, he came up against India A versus India C. He came up against Prasid Krishna, Avesh Khan, and a couple of other seamers on a grassy pitch in Anantapur, and he scored 100. So I think they have also considered the quality of knocks that is played in domestic cricket. Because remember, he's only played a few Ranji Trophy games. Most of his first class games have come in county cricket, A games, and Dulip Trophy. So that's a point to consider. So a lot of his games have come in kind of FC games have come in alien climbs, and he has played well, especially that 100 against Prasid and Co in the Dulip Trophy. They gave him a working over, bowled a lot of hard length, and he waded through all those spells on that tricky pitch and got that 111 last year in Anandpur.
Snehashish, your thoughts on this before we close the show?
No, no. As I mentioned earlier, see, obviously he has been doing fantastically in the IPL, but only not only for the IPL that he has been selected for the red ball format. Yeah, as Bharat mentioned, he scored that 100 in Australia against Australia A. He has done superbly in the county also and in the Ranji format also, and he has that game to be through all format players. So I think this is the right time to give a chance to Sai Sudharsan, and BCCI have done the right thing, and hopefully he will do well wherever he bats, whether he is opening the opening or maybe at number 3. That remains to be seen. But I can surely tell you that not only based on IPL that he has been selected for this series.
Yeah, they've just delved deeper, little bit deeper. See, what has happened here is they don't just look at the overall first class averages. I think the quality of knocks, the 111 that I mentioned came against a good pace attack. The 100 in Australia A against Australia A, this kind of knocks. So they have delved deeper than just looking at the overall first class average. For overall first class average might be 39, but here's some quality knocks in those games. Against good pace attacks.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Snehashish and Bharat, and everyone who's watching. Thank you for joining us and sending in your comments. Always lovely to chat with you guys. We'll be back at 2:30 ahead of the first match, double header day today. So ahead of the first match, there'll be a live. Don't forget to join us then. And of course, before the second game, which is in Delhi, I will join you guys from outside of the Arun Jaitley Stadium. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.